through the basics of the Figma application. I'm coming. Sorry, let me quit this project. So we're going to go through the basics of the software. Why? This is the reason why we are going through the basics of the software and how to use it. Because when you know how to use the tool, it will be easy to carry out the task you want to do with the tool. So we are going to first understand the tool and its properties, its usage, and its functions, and then move to the um, the principles of design and all what have you. So we'll start with, I've already explained this in brief. This is the layers panel, and I said two things. This with the hierarchy of our elements. If you have an element, let's say we have a frame here, tells us the hierarchy of the frames, and we can from here edit the names. Just double click to edit the name, and I can say, okay, let's say test frame. Okay, sorry, let me cancel that. Okay, so now we have test frame. So this entire thing here, this black space, is called the canvas. The canvas is where your designs show up. So your designs show up. So this is the canvas, and anything I'm designing on, any frame I'm using, any element I'm using, it's going to show and appear here. You can always change the color of the canvas. Come in here, you can see the cursor, the right side, which is the properties panel. So you can always come here when nothing is clicked. If I click on this now, it has different property. When nothing is clicked on, you are not clicking on any space here, any element, then you can always come here and click on this to edit the color. But I prefer black. I prefer the black background. Okay, that's that. So we are talking about the layers panel. The layers panel has two things. The first is that it shows the hierarchy of the elements. Shows the hierarchy of the element. Each element in your canvas, it shows the hierarchy of it. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that you can edit the names, and also you can do other functions, but these are just the basics we'll talk about now. You can do other functions. When you right click, you can see other functions that you can do, like rename. When you want to rename multiple elements, which we'll talk about soon. Those are tips and tricks though. So this is the number of pages. You can always create a new page, as we have said before. You can always create a new page. Let's delete this. So the page, they share the same assets. Now let's come here, top bar. We have a lot here. We have a lot to learn here, a lot. So when you come here, the first thing here, this one that is clicked, is called the move. And the shortcut is just to click on your V, the V on your keyboard. Just click on the V key, V, and that's automatically selected. So that's the shortcut. You can see this drop down here. When you click on it, you have two options. The K is to scale. The scale is used to, as it says, it's used to scale your elements. It does scale them up or scale them down. And what does it do? It scales it in equal proportions. That's the X and Y in equal proportions. So I'm reducing this now. You see, both the X and the Y axis reduce in equal proportion. So that's what it means to scale. If I'm using the move tool, for example, and I come here and I reduce it, because I'm taking it from a diagonal, that's why everything is, both the X and Y are reducing. So I'm to take it from the X, only the X will reduce. When I'm using the scale, you can see now, you can see. So that's the difference. The scale, it does not matter whether you're taking it from only the X axis or the Y axis, everything moves together. So this is very good when you want to have want to maintain the height and the width proportion of an element in the canvas. So you use the scale tool, and you can always use the shortcut for the scale, which is your K from your keyboard. So I said V for moving your elements and K for scaling your elements. So the key difference between the K, this is just a recap. The key difference between the move and the scale tool is that the move tool, if it's not taken from the diagonals, then it scales not with equal proportions. It does not take the X and the Y together. So if you are taking it, if I click on my V now, I'm taking it from the X, it only goes with the X. That's it. I'm taking it from the, sorry, if I'm taking it from the Y, this is the Y. It only goes with the Y. I'm taking it from horizontal, which is X, only goes with the X. So that's one key difference. While for the K, which is scale, it goes in equal proportions. Equal proportions. See, you can always edit it here also, but let's leave that. Let's not talk about that. So that's just the basic difference. When you are scaling it, it goes together. So I believe you understand that now. We can move to the next elements here. We have three. When you click on this drop down, you have three elements or three tools here. You have the frame, the section. This is a new feature in Figma. It was not there. So if you watch tutorials that are last year tutorials as 2022, you will not find this here. But as of 2023, this is a new feature and a very good feature we'll look at. So we have the frame. The frame is the shortcut for creating a frame in Figma is just click on the F key. When you click on your F, you see now you can just draw the frame. So we have two options actually. You can either draw, just drag and drop, drag and draw your frame, or when you click on your F, you have presets. Looking at this right panel here, you have some presets. So when you want to create for iPhone 14, just click on this. You have iPhone 14 iPhone 14 frame, iPhone 14 frame. So you can always click on this iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro. So you have different this for phones, you have for tablets. So when I'm going to the design for UI and UX for applications, we deal with this. You also have for tablets, and you have for TV, bigger screens, have presentations. Maybe you are using it for flyer creation, for flyer design, and what have you. You have watch for smaller devices like your iPhone, iWatches. You have paper also, and you have your social media. You want to create posts for social media, and you have Figma community. You want to create a plugin icon also. All these they have usage because Figma is a tool that's used by a variety of designers, but mostly it is a tool for UI UX design. But also varieties of designers do use Figma. So that's that. Let me delete these frames. So you can either click on your F and drag and drop to create a frame, or you choose from the presets, and you can also use your A. The A and F, they both work for the same purpose. So that's for the frame. If I also click on the down, you see we have the section. Section is used to group number of frames. For example, when you are creating your application and you have set of screens to achieve a task, maybe for creating an account, number of screens for creating an account are ready, then you can group the number of screens. You can select the number of screens and take them into a section. Let's duplicate this and give an example. So if I've duplicated all these boxes, all these rectangles, all these frames, sorry, how do I duplicate? Just click on Ctrl D. So if I select on all these now, I can right click and create section. So with this now, I've created section. It's a good way for organizing your content. I can name this section. You can say section 1. Okay, it's already section 1. Let's just do that. So it's a good way for naming and organizing your content. So this is section. This is a section. This is a section. So let me just delete. I don't have use for this now. It's when we are designing, and let me remove this section. I'm going back, Ctrl Z to undo. Take it to 1. Yeah, okay. So that's that. So we have the slice tool. The slice tool is used for selecting from the canvas some elements or some portion from the canvas. For example, if I want to select this, maybe for example I have an image and I wanted to take part of the image. I think I should get an image. Let me get an image from the plugin and show you what I mean by this. Okay, sorry. I think okay. So you have the image plugin. Let me just choose any image, a random image, and display or okay. So let's take this for example. Let's take this. I like this one. So if you have this, first of all, let's scale it down. Let's scale it down using our what? K. So with our K, we can scale it down with proportion, because for image now, if you are using your C, this is a good way to show the difference and the importance of V and K. If I'm using our V now for images, it might distort. You can see that it might distort the proportion of the image. So it's better to use K when you're dealing with images, so it is scaled down in good proportion. So for example, if I have this image and I wanted to only export smaller portion, or the legs of this flamingo, if I want to export only the legs, I can just come here and use the slice tool, which is our S key, not Control S, our S key. We can use it from our keyboard. Just click on this and drag only where I want. So when I have that this is slice, I can always press Control Shift C, which is copy as PNG. So if when I copy as PNG, I can paste here. You see, we have it. So it's a very good feature. The slice used to for slicing, or as it says, as the name applies, this is for slicing or taking elements from the canvas. I hope you understand this. But with usage, when we come to design and how we use it, you get to understand it better. So that's what the slice tool. So in recap, you have the frame, the section, and the slice. So the frame is F for taking for having the frame. That is the shortcut for the frame is F. The shortcut for creating the section is Shift S, and slice is S. So the next thing, group of objects that we can create in Figma. So you have the rectangle as the default, which is R. You have the line, arrow, Shift L. You have the ellipse, which is circle, and you have polygon, and you have a star, and you also have image and video. Video is a new feature in Figma. Figma, as of 2022, was not able to run with videos, or was not able to it was not possible to import videos in Figma. It's a new feature and a great feature in Figma. So let's start with the rectangle. So rectangle, we just click on R, or you come there and select it. So you drag and drop, drag and draw. So you have this as a rectangle. You can always edit it. I don't want to go to the properties panel now, because we'll deal with that later. So this is a rectangle. This is a basic rectangle. You can also do some edits. You can change a lot of things, but this is in the properties panel. That's a rectangle. To create a rectangle, you have the next thing here is the line. So you can create a line in Figma. You have to draw lines, because I also use Figma for it's a vector-based software, so you can use it for creating SVG elements and what have you. So you can draw lines, and you can also edit it from the properties panel, which we'll touch in a sec. So you also have arrow, the same thing, only that it has pointed heads, and you have ellipse, these which are circles. You can also edit the circles. Okay, so you see, when we are creating all these elements, the proportion is not equal. You see, the width and the heights are not the same. But if you want to make it the same when we are creating, you click on your Shift, okay, O first, then you click on Shift, drag and drop. You see now equal proportions. As a trick, say Shift O, Shift, and you drag and drop. If you are creating rectangle, you first of all click on your R, you drag, you click on your Shift, you drag and drop. You see, equal. Oh, so I left the Shift key before releasing my mouse. So that's how to create it. What again? We have the polygon like the triangle, and other shapes like the triangle, only that the quadrilateral is already there, which is our rectangle. We have the trigon. If you want to have the hexagon, the octagon, you can always create this with from this shape. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in properties panel, how to create more complex shapes like the hexagon and octagon, sorry, and all what have you. So let me delete that. We have the next thing here is the star. We can also edit this, and we can edit you can do a lot with this. This is just basic way of creating the star. We can always edit, but this is the properties panel. How do we talk about the properties panel for each of these elements to understand it better? So that's for the star. You can come here and also import images. So it goes to my file manager, and I want to import images. I can always come here and say, okay, let's import this. So if the image is importing, it will show on the now. So you can see it now. It's going with my cursor. I can either drag and drop the image. To the required proportion I need. Don't forget you can click on shift to have a good looking proportion, that is an equal proportion of the x and y axis. So you can click on your S. Or another alternative is that when I delete it, I go back and take an image. Another alternative is, if I want the image to remain in its original proportion, if I come here and open this, instead of me to drag and draw, I'll just click on the canvas. Click on the canvas, it brings the image in its full width. So you can see now the image is in its full width. So how do we reduce the size of this in a good way? Use our K. Don't forget, don't use your R, don't use your V, sorry. Use your K to reduce the size. Okay, so I believe that's understood. If there's any question, please click on the comments and ask your questions in the comment box. Thank you. So we can move next to the pen tool. The pen tool is used for drawing. So it can either click on your P from the keyboard, or you come here and click on the pen tool. So the pen tool is basically used for drawing, and we'll talk about more functions and how to draw. So let me just draw something basic. P. Let's draw something basic. I'm not a good artist. But okay, so I can duplicate this. Sorry. Oh, it's because the color is black. Oh, let me change the color. Coming. Sorry. If I take this, I have many duplicates here. Okay, let me change the color of the background to something this. Okay, so I can have this simple shape. It is something that's this code. So we have this. So you can use the pen tool for drawing. For those that are good in drawing, it's a tool you can utilize for that. You can also use the pencil. Just see, as it says, the pencil is more easier to use. It has more flexibility. So if I have the shift P, I can use it for drawing. You see, it's more flexible. Unlike the pen tool, when you have to drag, click on this, and you go here and you click, come here and you click. But the pen tool is just free. Shift P. I'm going ES key. You press on the ESC, the escape key, to leave the pen tool, or you press on enter key. If I press on enter, or you press on the escape key to leave your pen tool. So when I come to the pencil tool, click on this pencil. I can always draw freely. I want to draw something. This freehand drawing. this freehand drawing in Figma, and we'll talk about this soon and how to edit it. The next thing is the text in Figma. This is just a single property. You just click on the part in the first way to do it. Let me take it in steps. So when you click on this text tool, you can either click on it or use your T. When you click on this, you come here. You have two ways. Either you drag and drop, and draw this, and then you start typing. Then you already have a text box, and you know that this text box, it does not depend on the number of text or the size of the text within. So let's change the size of this text something bigger. So it does not depend on the size of the text. So that's the first way. You drag and draw the size you require. The other way is to, when you click on your T, you come here and just click on the canvas. With this, the box grows with the text. Although you can only switch from each. I'll talk about how to switch from this box that has a standard size and width, and this box that grows with the text. So let's delete that. That's for the text. Then you can come here for your resources. You have your components. We should talk about our components. You have your plugins. That's one of the great things in Figma. Plugins, you can see I just use my Unsplash plugin to import images. So Unsplash is a good plugin for importing images. You also have the pixels. Material symbols is used for importing icons. So also hero icons. You have pattern fields or creating patterns in Figma. So you have hero patterns, and you have a lot of plugins. When you want to carry out functions in Figma to make your work easier, it's good to know the best plugin for the job. And as we go, we use a lot of plugins, and you take notes and know how to use them. Like the Unsplash, you just use this. You can check it out, import images and play with it. So you have widgets in Figma are good ways for, like in Teams, like you want to create timetables, you can also come here, you can search timetable, or you just say table. So you can import this. So that you to be creating table from scratch. Okay, so you just come here, you import the table, and you start designing. When you finish designing, you can download it here. So that's for that. I can also set timings here. I can also set timing from the widget. You can say timer. Timeline. The widget had a lot of functions that will be useful. So you have the hand tool. Hand tool is used for moving around the what do you call it? The canvas. So I can use this with my mouse when I click on the roller and I drag, and I click on it and I drag. When I click and drag on the canvas with my mouse roller, I can do that. I can also come here, click on this, or I click on the H from my keyboard, and I can click and drag. They have comments because Figma is used for collaboration a lot, so you can always drop comments. Oh, I think you should edit this. So I can also tag people with the hashtag. So that's for it. Not the hashtag though, the @. I can come here, say @. Then if I know the person's name, these are people I've worked with in my Figma board, so that's show there. So that's for the tools here. We'll not talk about this one now. That's the tools here. So here we have the draft. This is where the file is stored in. It means that this file is not in any of my professional files. It's just in the draft folder. Then we have this. This is my account. If we were collaborating and I have another of my team members here with me, then we have the person's logo showing here, appearing here. I can spotlight the person. What do I mean by spotlight? Spotlight means I will follow up his cursor wherever he is. my cursor or my screen will move there, and it will be moving as he moves. I think that would be great when collaborating, like when you want to know where your member is and when one of the members is explaining, and when you are in a call, because you can also have calls in Figma. When I have more than a person in this Figma board, I can have more than when I have more than a person in the Figma board, it appears, and the call function appears here. You can also have collaborative session in Figma where you have the audio call, and then you can spotlight the person to know where he is and what he's explaining. You just follow up with your screen. So that's that. You also have the play. The play shows or displays your work. When you are finished designing. When you click on this, it will show it in a full canvas like this. But this is someone's work I don't want to. You see, these are hidden. All these here are hidden. So you can also hide the components and elements here. You can lock it where it cannot move. You cannot edit it. And here you can hide it. So these are hidden because I'm working on something for someone. Okay, so this is showing the zoom, the proportion, the rate at the proportion at which, or the zoom level at which we are looking at the canvas. So you can have 100% this fit, and you can also zoom out or zoom in to see more elements. And you have the share. The share allows you to share your work, or to invite people to your canvas space. You can invite people, you copy the link, and you can edit what the person that you are inviting, what do you want the person to do? Is it that the person will have the ability to edit, or the person can only view? If the person can only view, you cannot edit your work. So when you are giving to a client that does not know about Figma, don't allow the person to edit, because it might, he or she might distort your work. Just give the permission to view, and then you type the person's email. If you have multiple emails, you press comma, type the next one, and then you send invite. For example, if I want to send to my second email, let's say Abubakar Zubair. Okay, sorry, I mixed something. At gmail.com. So I have this. So this is my email. I can set the permission. What do I want this Abubakar to do? Can he edit, or he should just view? Okay, it's an editor. It's my co-team member, so I can give permission to edit. I'll send the invite. To. That's how to do it. You can also copy the link here. And when you're copying the link, make sure you set anyone with the link. You set this permission. What do you want? Anyone, if you are copying this link, what do you want the person to be able to do when he has the link? Can he view, or he can edit? So I will set that you can only view. And you can also publish your work to the Figma community. We'll talk about that soon, because Figma, as you said, is an open source software where you collaborate and you share your work. You can also benefit from others to improve your workflow and that. So congratulations, you have been able to follow up to this stage. I'm very excited to be able to have this opportunity to be with you. So you have completed, you have taken all these tools. So practice. Just play with it, play with the canvas, but create a new account, play with the tools here, just play around. Thank you very much. So you have the frame, you have the move tool, you have the scale, you have the rectangle, and all other shapes. You have the pen and the pencil. The pencil is used for freehand sketch, and the pen is used for more organized sketches. And you have your text, and you have your resources, your hand, which is for moving around the keyboard. You can use a H from your keyboard, move around the canvas, and you can use a H from the keyboard as the shortcut. And you have the comments. Thank you very much. Please comment what you feel and how we can improve on this. Thank you very much.